Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimad Bhagavatam Namne Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimad Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pachatine Saiti Tarine Mukam Karoti Vajalam Bangam Langite Girim Yat Kripa Tamamande Sri Gurum Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanyamswaram Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Jaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudidayet Nashtaprayesha Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhartir Bhavati Naistiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Deviki Nandanasha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namam Nama Pankajanapaya Nama Pankajamaline Nama Pankajanetraya Namaste Pankajankre Sri Krishna Govinda Hare Murare He Nath Narayana Vasudeva Hari Hari. So, Hare Krishna everyone. So, we are going to read from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 16, verse number 32 today. Welcome everyone. So, I will share my screen. Yes, and where is my... Share. Okay. So, verse number 32. Let's read the verse first. Dvastav Adisya Bhagavan Vimana Sreni Bhushanam Sarvadishayaya Lakshmiya Justam Swam Tishniyama Vishat. One more time. Dvastav Adisya Bhagavan Vimana Sreni Bhushanam Sarvadishayaya Lakshmiyai Justam Swam Tishniyama Vishat. So the word for word meanings Dvastav, to the doorkeepers, Adisya, just directing them, Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vimana Sreni Bhushanam, always decorated with first-class airplanes, Sarva Adishayaya, in every respect extensively opulent, Lakshmiya, opulences, Yushtam, bedecked with, Swam, his own, Dishnyam, aboard, Avishat, went back. Translation and purport by Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. After thus speaking at the door of Vaikuntha, the Lord returned to his abode, where there are many celestial airplanes, and all surpassing wealth and splendor. After thus speaking at the door of Vaikuntha, the Lord returned to his abode, where there are many celestial airplanes and all surpassing wealth and splendor. Purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. It is clear from this verse that all the incidents took place at the entrance of Vaikuntha Loka. In other words, the sages were not actually within Vaikuntha Loka, but were at the gate. It could be asked, how could they return to the material world if they entered Vaikuntha Loka? But actually, they did not enter, and therefore they returned. There are many similar incidents where great yogis and brahmanas, by dint of their yoga practice, have gone from this material world to Vaikuntha Loka, but they were not meant to stay there. They came back. It is also confirmed here that the Lord was surrounded by many Vaikuntha airplanes. Vaikuntha Loka is described here as having splendid opulence, far surpassing the splendor of this material world. All other living creatures, including the demigods, are born of Brahma, and Brahma is born of Lord Vishnu. Krishna states in Bhagavad Gita, in the 10th chapter, Aham Sarvasya Prabhava. Lord Vishnu is the origin of all manifestations in the material world. Those who know that Lord Vishnu is the origin of everything, who are conversant with the process of creation, and who understand that Vishnu or Krishna is the most worshipable object of all living entities, engage themselves in Vishnu worship as Vaishnavas. The Vedic hymns also confirm this. Om Tad Vishnu Paramam Padam Sada Pashyandi Surya. The whole goal of life is to understand Vishnu. The Bhagavatam also confirms this elsewhere. Foolish people, not knowing that Vishnu is the supreme worshipable object, create so many worshipable objects in this material world, and therefore they fall down. Hare Krishna. Please pray for me while I try to spend the next 20 minutes here. So here it is the last scene here, so to say. We saw high drama. That is, this was all taking place at the very entrance, at the gate of Vaikuntha Loka. So after instructing his servitors, Jaya and Vijaya, the Lord has returned to his abode. He has gone back to his own chambers. So here we see this is a very, we cannot grasp the entirety of these last two chapters within first reading. We have to read it several times over and over again to drink it in, so to say. That is why Bhagavatam is called, this thing, the nectar, that is drinking which you become a honey bee, like a drunk honey bee at the lotus feet of Krishna. So in the last chapter, the description of kingdom of Vaikuntha, we really saw the insights, how the Vaikuntha Loka, the Lord's abode, is so resplendent with all kinds of opulences. And we saw how everyone is trying to excel in Kirtan Rasa, glorifying the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And everyone is so respectful of each other. That is the beautifully singing birds. They stop to listen to the bumblebee. Bumblebee's version of his glorification. And all the flowers with intoxicating fragrances and beauty, they are so mindful of the highest position awarded to Tulasi Devi. Because Lord has given special status to Tulasi. He wears garlands of Tulasi, and Tulasi is offered at his lotus feet, and she has a permanent residence there. And then, so all this and more, it is very intoxicating, the description of the kingdom of God. And this is the highest travel advertisement that can be seen in the pages of Bhagavatam. And then what took place there? The Lord Brahma is narrating how the four Kumaras, who are but like 5-year-old boys, they wandered into the spiritual world one day, just because they are just used to freely wandering all the worlds. They went up to the Vaikuntha Loka, and they went through the 6 gates of Vaikuntha, as if, not paying much attention or taking cognition of what they are seeing, because they are such renounced souls. And at the 7th gate, they encounter the 2 personalities guarding the gates of Vaikuntha, and there they come across the spirit which is opposed to the spiritual world. That is, they are saying, how can these 2 persons show anger in their countenance? Here there is no enemies, no in the Vaikuntha Loka. Who can be the enemy of the Lord? Why did their eyes turn red and their noses, kind of expressed some anger, So, and their brows also. They didn't speak it to them, but they sensed that the 2 gatekeepers, they are showing some, they are reflecting some spirit which is not appropriate to the abode of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And they thought about it between them, amongst themselves. What is an appropriate punishment for them? And they do not belong here, certainly. If they experience duality in Vaikuntha, they should go down to the material world. So they curse them. And Jaya and Vijaya, they are not, they are responding very much befitting to the spiritual culture. They fall down at the lotus feet of the Kumaras and beg their forgiveness. And they immediately make the most important request. While we have to leave our master, please bless us that we will not forget him for a moment. So this is the true servants of the Lord. They might have to go to even hellish planets sometimes, but they never for a moment forget the Supreme Lord. That is all that they want. They do not care about where they are. So after this, so knowing that his servants have got in trouble, the Supreme Lord arrives there. He gives darshan first time to the 4 Kumaras, the most exalted souls. And the description of the scene is something which we have to read really. We cannot put it in words. The Lord appears there, accompanied by Lakshmi Devi, and he is putting his one hand on Garuda and twirling a lotus with the other hand. And the Kumaras are saying, today we have seen you, Lord, whom we have only seen through our ears, because Lord Brahma has described, our father, Lord Brahma has described you and you are exactly that personality, that supreme personality of Godhead. So they offer their obeisances to the Lord, and they smell for the first time. The fragrance of the tulasi leaves are entering their nostrils, and their body is experiencing, their minds and bodies are experiencing this spiritual bliss. And to top it all, the Lord is speaking such words of um, uh, words of sweetness and full of reproach for his assistants, his servants, Jaya and Vijaya, because they have offended the Kumaras. And to hear him speak thus, the Kumaras are bewildered. Because in the first verse of Bhagavatam itself, we hear the Lord is Swarad, all independent. Then from his words, we can see how he is bound with the love of his servants, the Brahmanas, the Vaishnavas. These verses are like to be found nowhere else. He is saying, this offense committed by my servants is as good as committed by me. So he takes responsibility for the offense committed by Jaya and Vijaya. And so he says, how the respect given to my devotees, the Brahmanas, Vaishnavas, is respect given to me, love and respect given to me. And the food offered to the Vaishnavas and Brahmanas, to the mouths of Vaishnavas and Brahmanas, is more relished by him than the food offered in the sacrificial fire, which is also the mouth of the Lord. So in so many verses, the Lord is glorifying his devotees and how he is bound with their love, and how he is saying it is because I am servitor of my devotees, I have all this, my glory is increasing. And because I can take the dust of their lotus feet, who will refuse to do that? I, the Supreme Lord describes himself as the source of the Ganges. How Ganges is the supremely purifying river? Because it carries with her the dust of Govinda. It originates from the spiritual world, Karana Jala, Karana ocean, and it is bringing the dust of the lotus foot of Vamana Deva. And so I am the source of everything pure, and still I bear that. I do not hesitate to take the dust of my devotees' lotus feet on my head. Then who will refuse to do that? So the Kumaras feel like so bewildered. They feel they also deserve a punishment, just like the Jaya and Vijaya. They have committed an offense. They ask the Lord, please award us whatever punishment you think is due to us now. So, the Lord, and then we see all these scenes that are played out here. Is it due to the fault of the offense committed by Jaya and Vijaya at the Kumara's lotus feet? No, it has been ordained by me. The Lord says, I know they are going to the material world. It has been ordained by me. When did it happen? When Lakshmi Devi tried to enter the chambers of Lord Narayana, And that is after her outing. When she comes back, Jaya and Vijaya stop her. So at that moment, they have displeased her. So we see the origin of all this, the true cause of all this. And the fall down of Jaya and Vijaya. And the Lord so affectionate to his two devotees, Jaya and Vijaya. He is pleading with the Kumaras, oh, please return, make arrangement for their return to me as quickly as possible. So he is consoling them. Now you have to leave, but you will come back quickly to me. Quickly means through 3 incarnations. You have to take birth in the material world 3 times and worship me with the mystic yoga, the bhakti yoga in anger. So, and the Lord has rectified their fall. And after blessing them, so the Lord blesses them. All my blessings with you. You go, but you come back soon. So, so affectionate the Lord is to the Brahmanas, Vaishnavas, and to his servants. So it is so like, I mean, we cannot even replace one word for another, in which Srila Prabhupada is expressing the not only the translations, the purports. Because it's so difficult to put it in words what Srila Prabhupada has written at each and every in each and every purport. So the Lord is saying, I am not attached to Lakshmi Devi, but she doesn't leave me because I am the servitor of my devotees. I have all these opulences. I am detached from her, but she doesn't leave me. That is his level. So, and he attributes everything of his glory and his opulences to the austerities and the love the devotees carries for him. We have seen, we see further, we have seen elsewhere in Srimad Bhagavatam, in the story of Ambarisha Maharaj, how Lord says again, Sadhuve Hridayam Mahyam, that is my heart. The devotees, sadhus are in my heart and I am in their heart. So there is a compact of love. I know nobody but my devotees and they know no one but me. So the Lord's world is his devotees and his devotees' world is but his lotus feet. So this is what we gather from these conversations taking place, this incident that has happened at the first visit by Kumaras to Vaikuntha Loka. They have not gone inside the Vaikuntha Loka. This is all taking place at the very gate. And even if the devotees, the pure devotees go into Vaikuntha Loka, we have seen so many times, they come back. For the Kumaras, it does not matter where they are. For Narada Muni, it does not matter where they are. Wherever they are, it is Vaikuntha for them. So, whereas we mortals, we long to go there. And then Lord Brahma says, how to conquer Ajita, the unconquerable, by true loving devotional service. That is in the, and how the Gopas playing with Krishna, what pious activities they have executed in their many lifetimes to play with Krishna in that, at equal, as an equal. So this is, so we will see that is foolish people not knowing that Vishnu is the supreme worshipable object, create so many worshipable objects in this material world, and therefore they fall down. So what about we mortal souls? How many times we've been so the Jaya and Vijaya, they had their birth in the Satya Yuga, in Treda Yuga, and lastly in Dwapara Yuga as Shishpala and Dandavakra. Before that, Ravana and Kumpakarna, and before that, Hiranyakashipu and Hiranyaksha. So they finished their business in the material world and went back. What about us, we mortals? So we are carried by our own karma in the flow of this material sansara. So the Lord is like a shepherd. Shepherd, I read somewhere in the Bhagavatam. He takes us to different places according to our karmic reactions, according to our previous activities, so that we may become purified. And when we are purified to the highest degree, we take birth in a devotee's family, and we become eligible to receive Lord Gauranga's mercy in this Kali Yuga. That is the topmost fortunate situation for this fallen soul. Because Lord Gauranga says, Mama Janmani Janmanishware Bhavadat Bhakti Rahaitu Kitoi. That is, let my devotion to thee increase birth after birth. And in this birth, let me experience that, that is yuga, that ecstasy. Yugaidam nimishena. Chakshusha pravashayidam shunyayidam jagat sarvam govinda virahena. But as Kali Yuga souls, are Kali Yuga souls experiencing this viraha from the Lord? No, they are creating new objects to increase the luxury in experiencing this material world. New devices, new inventions, and ever being carried away from the lotus feet of Mukunda. So this is the opportunity for us to return back to our home, in eternal home in Vaikuntha. So Srila Prabhupada has come to give us the message of Lord Gauranga. You Kali Yuga souls, please, this way. So what a wonderful opportunity we have. We had a wonderful glimpse of the Vaikuntha world and the exchange between the Lord and his devotees. It's so edifying, so instructional. Thank you very much. My words are very limited. I cannot convey the purport of these chapters. We have heard from such wonderful devotees. So everything is a pastime of the Lord. He wants to have his chivalry. He wants to have his fight. So he sends his servants here. So we are all coming because we have our previous janma activities to account for in this life. Thank you very much for your patient listening. If any questions, it's already 8 o'clock. Any questions or comments, please feel free to share. I'm sorry if I made mistakes in speaking, and I didn't do a good job probably. Thank you very much for your patience. Mancha kalpatarubhya kripa sindhubhya patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namo.
Hare Krishna Mataji, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Hare Krishna Prabhupada, please accept my humble obeisances to all glories to Srila Prabhupada.
Mataji, as usual, very sweet, such a nice talk. Mataji, hoping you are keeping good health. What I wanted to, again, it all goes back to, why did the doorkeepers get chastised? My thing goes to Brahma Samhita. In Brahma Samhita, it is very clearly explained, like there are millions and millions of Brahmas and demigods who line up in Vaikuntha, and the doorkeepers there, because there's so much jostling, like in Tirupati, when you go to Tirupati, there's, and then to keep them in line and to keep this thing properly and orderly, they actually use their batons to, like the sticks to,
keep order there.
Yeah. So
crowd control.
Crowd control. It's all being done there. And if that is okay, and there, yes, the guards are getting sometimes angry. There is duality and all of that. Why is it in this particular case, the guards are being chastised? That's an enigma that, every particular verse that we read, it goes back to that question, so I'll just leave it there, Mataji.
They were just doing their duty. And who are these boys who have, who are just 5-year-old looking? Why are they coming here? It is but normal. But then we know this is all the sequence of events, in which Lord appears for Paritranaya Sadhuna Vinashaya Dushkrita. So all these are background happenings. And the Kumaras, this is the incident in which the Kumaras are blessed with the darshan of the Lord. So they have only heard about him through from the Lord Brahma. Now they have an opportunity to hear. And the pages of Bhagavatam evolve based on these incidents. We have so many things, incarnations happening because of these things.
So that actually takes me to the other part of it. Lord Brahma, and the 4 Kumaras are his sons. And Lord Brahma is not like atheist or something, We know that he and he does sacrifices and stuff like that, and Daksha Yajna and all those things. And we know, all those yajnas and other things, like deity worship. Sri Ranganath was actually Brahma's worshipable deity at his home, and then even in the yajnas and other places, whenever they do the offering, the Lord would personally appear, in the Narayana form from the flame. So how is it that the Kumaras say we only heard and we did not know, and did they not use Tulsi in those worship at all? Or, I know I'm going very deep. These questions come up. Did they grow up without any of this knowledge? Then how did they become so knowledgeable? So I'll just leave it there again.
Okay, Prabhu. So good to hear from you. It's all a puzzle. The Kumara's first darshan of the Lord, and we all know how they turned to be personalists at this incident. And so probably there also, like we know. We start with such a primitive idea of the spiritual world, and we get educated. Maybe those great souls also, during their every kalpa they are born. The Kumaras are born from Lord Brahma's mind, and they go and hear Bhagavatam from Ananda Deva. They visit Vaikuntha Loka. All those things are happening every every day of Brahma, isn't it? Very edifying, very instructional. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Mataji. Such a sweet class.
Hare
I mean, you are
Krishna,
going with
Prabhu.
a big flow. I mean,
Hare
the
Krishna,
drama, the way you explained it is like very, very nice.
Prabhu.
It's a big drama, as you initially started saying, right?
Hare Krishna. I mean, these two chapters are, I mean,
Yeah.
when I read, I read and read. I cannot put it in words because there's such a flow in them. There is such a flow in them. And Srila Prabhupada's purports are so amazing.
Thank you so much, Mataji.
Thank you very much.
I
Hare
mean, the
Krishna.
way you went with the flow, it was very immersive.
Hare Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. So we can end here.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Thank you.
Thank you.